What does it mean to look up at the night sky and let your gaze remain there, unbroken, for an entire hour? At first, it might sound like a simple act, nothing more than lifting your eyes and admiring the stars. Yet hidden within this hour lies a journey, not only through the silent movements of celestial bodies above, but also through the shifting landscape of your own perception. The night sky has always been a mirror. For ancient civilizations, it reflected stories, gods, and the mysteries of creation. For scientists, it became a vast laboratory filled with equations written in starlight. And for dreamers, it has remained an infinite canvas of wonder. To stare at it for an hour is to participate in all of these perspectives at once, consciously or not. In the first few minutes, your eyes adjust. You begin to notice the brighter stars, perhaps a planet glowing steadily, refusing to twinkle like the others. The dark spaces seem empty, but already your brain is recalibrating, letting faint glimmers emerge. The more you stay, the more the heavens reveal themselves. What was once a handful of visible stars becomes dozens, then hundreds, as if the universe is rewarding your patience with deeper layers of itself. Time begins to change, too. The ticking of clocks feels distant compared to the rhythm above. Stars drift imperceptibly. Satellites cut brief lines across the black canvas. And sometimes a meteor flares, a sudden message from the cosmos, gone as quickly as it appeared. To stare at the night sky for an hour is to witness motion where you thought there was stillness. But it is not only an external experience. Something shifts within you as well. You begin to notice your own smallness, the fragility of human time against cosmic time. Questions rise quietly. How vast is it all? What does it mean to exist under such immensity? And why does something so unreachable feel so deeply connected to us? This audiobook invites you into that hour of contemplation. Each chapter will follow different threads that emerge as you continue to gaze upward. The science of the stars, the stories they tell, the illusions of the human mind when confronted with darkness, and the subtle transformations in thought and feeling that such an experience can awaken. For an hour beneath the stars is never just an hour. It is a meeting between you and the universe, a dialogue without words, yet rich with meaning. If you allow yourself to remain there, motionless and open, you may find that the night sky not only reveals its secrets, it reveals something about you as well.
Chapter 1. The First Glimpse. Adjusting to the Darkness. When you first lift your eyes toward the night sky, there's a moment of uncertainty. The darkness above seems overwhelming, like an endless curtain drawn across the world. At first glance, it feels almost empty, just a handful of bright points scattered in the distance. You might even wonder if this is all there is. Yet this is only the beginning, for your vision is still tied to the brightness of the world you've just left behind. The transition from the light of Earth to the darkness of the cosmos takes time, and patience is the silent key that unlocks the vastness above. During the first few minutes, your eyes begin a quiet transformation. The pupils dilate, expanding like black oceans within your gaze, reaching to capture every fragment of light. It is an ancient reflex, one that connects you to all creatures who have ever looked into the night for guidance, for safety, or for meaning. At this stage, the brightest stars declare themselves first. They are like beacons, steady, clear, impossible to ignore. You may notice one that shines brighter and more steadily than the rest, a planet masquerading as a star, defying the subtle twinkle that betrays the others. As you remain still, breathing in the coolness of night, something curious begins to happen. More and more stars emerge, as if the darkness is slowly lifting its veil. Where a few minutes ago the sky seemed scattered and sparse, it now reveals dozens of faint companions. This change is not because the stars themselves have grown brighter, but because your eyes are finally beginning to adapt. The shift is subtle, gradual, yet unmistakable. The universe rewards patience. Astronomers called this process dark adaptation. Within about 5 minutes, you start to notice stars that were invisible at first glance. After 10 minutes, even more appear, filling in the spaces between the brighter ones. By the 20-minute mark, the difference is remarkable. The sky transforms into a tapestry richer than you imagined. And if you remain long enough, after half an hour, you may find yourself surrounded by hundreds of points of light, each whispering of distances and stories beyond comprehension. This unfolding of the heavens is not an illusion. It is a reminder of the partnership between the cosmos and your own biology. In these opening minutes, your perception also begins to shift in ways beyond a purely visual. The sounds of the earth seem to recede as your attention anchors upward. The world below grows quieter in your mind, replaced by the silent depth above. A curious calm settles in. You are no longer simply a person standing on the ground. You're a witness to something far greater, something eternal. Patterns may start to catch your attention, a triangle of stars here, a curved line there. Your brain, ever eager for order, seeks meaning in the scattered points. These shapes might remind you of constellations you have heard about, or they might simply form new arrangements unique to your own imagination. In this early stage, you are not yet identifying official constellations, but you are beginning to notice the first hints of structure in the apparent randomness. It is the mind's first step toward building a relationship with the sky. And as the minutes pass, the illusion of stillness begins to fade. You notice that one star seems slightly lower than before, that another has drifted just a fraction to the side. The truth is subtle but profound. The entire dome above is in motion, slowly rotating as the earth turns beneath your feet. You are witnessing not only light across vast distances, but also time in motion. A rhythm so ancient that it has guided humanity since before history was written. This first glimpse is about more than sight. It's about surrendering to the patience the night sky demands. At first you fight against the darkness, searching for clarity, that as you remain, the darkness becomes a friend, and in its depth, the stars multiply. What began as emptiness transforms into richness. What began as a handful of bright sparks becomes a living, shifting sea of light. To stare at the night sky for an hour, you must first make peace with these opening minutes. They are the threshold, the gentle transition between the world you know and the infinite you are about to enter. As your eyes adapt and your perception expands, you step quietly into that vastness, guided by the first fragile glimmers of the universe. And in that moment, when the stars truly begin to appear, you realize that you have only just started your journey.
Chapter 2: The Brightest Beacons, Stars That Stand Out. Once your eyes have adjusted to the velvet darkness of the sky, a natural hierarchy reveals itself. Among the multitude of faint, delicate points that emerge, there are those that stand apart. Luminaries so striking that they dominate your gaze almost immediately. These are the brightest beacons of the night, the guides that humanity has leaned upon for millennia, the anchors that turn the vast, shifting sea of stars into something familiar and navigable. The human eye is instinctively drawn to brightness. In the dark wilderness of the sky, the luminous few become reference points, steady companions that reassure and orient. Sirius, the so-called dog star, is one of these. Shining with a brilliance unmatched by any other star visible from Earth, Sirius is dazzling, almost electric in its clarity. Ancient Egyptians watched its heliacal rising to mark the flooding of the Nile, linking it with the rhythm of survival. To gaze upon Sirius today is to share a thread of connection with people who lived thousands of years ago, who also lifted their eyes to the same beacon and felt both awe and guidance. Not far in prominence are stars like Vega, Arcturus, and Capella. Each holds a special place in the sky's architecture. Vega, blue-white and shimmering, was once the pole star thousands of years ago, and will be again in the distant future. Arcturus, golden in its glow, feels warmer, its light resonating with an almost earthly comfort. Capella, high and steady, commands attention with a quiet brilliance. These stars are more than dots of light. They are milestones on the celestial map, reassuring reminders that amidst the apparent chaos, the sky has order. Yet not every brilliant star you see is truly a star. Some of the most striking points of light are in fact planets, wanderers in the ancient sense of the word. Unlike stars, they do not twinkle in the same restless way. They shine with a steadier, more constant light, betraying their proximity compared to the distant suns that flicker through the layers of Earth's atmosphere. Venus, when visible, is so radiant that it outshines every star in the night sky. Its silvery glow has inspired both poetry and superstition, often mistaken for a lantern or even a visiting ship in the distance. Jupiter, too, reveals itself as a steadfast beacon, its creamy white glow steady and unmistakable. To the patient observer with even a modest telescope, Jupiter unveils tiny dots of light around it. It's Galilean moons, worlds circling a world, all visible from a quiet patch of Earth. Mars, glowing faintly red, is another unmistakable traveler across the night. Its ruddy hue has given it associations with war and fire across cultures, a reminder that color, too, can guide our recognition. Saturn, though fainter, appears with a pale golden tint, and under magnification becomes a revelation, the ringed planet suspended in elegance. Even without instruments, its placement among the stars tells of its presence as one of these wandering lights, distinct in its stillness. The difference between stars and planets becomes a quiet game for the observer. The stars twinkle, restless in their faraway shimmer. The planets, closer, hold a steadier, calmer glow. To notice this is to unlock a subtle secret of the night sky, a secret known intuitively by ancient stargazers long before telescopes confirmed it. They recognized that some lights follow different paths, wandering among the constellations, tracing arcs over days and weeks rather than remaining fixed. These wanderers became gods, symbols, omens, embodiments of change against the backdrop of eternity. There is comfort in identifying these brightest beacons. They give shape to the sky, transforming it from an overwhelming scatter of light into something with structure, almost like a cosmic compass. Travelers once navigated oceans by Polaris, the North Star, fixed steadfast near the celestial pole. Even now, in a world lit by artificial glow, Polaris remains a reassuring presence, a fixed point around which the heavens seem to wheel. To find it is to find orientation, not only geographically, but also existentially, as if the universe offers you a point of stability in an ever-changing world. As you continue to stare, the brightest stars and planets begin to act as stepping stones. Your eyes move from one beacon to the next, slowly mapping the broader canvas around them. Patterns emerge. You connect one luminous point to another, and in doing so, the constellations slowly take shape. These brightest lights are not only guides for your gaze, they are gateways into deeper exploration, leading you further into the night sky's architecture. There is also something deeply human about this process. Across every culture, people have lifted their eyes to the brightest stars and given them names, stories, and meaning. From the mythologies of Greece to the navigation lore of Polynesians, these beacons have been more than lights. They have been companions, storytellers, teachers. To recognize them now is to step into that long human tradition, to feel a continuity with countless generations who found solace and guidance in the same points of light. In this stage of your hour beneath the stars, the brightest beacons are your anchors. They draw your attention outward, helping you settle into the sky's vastness. They remind you that while the universe is immense and largely unknowable, it also offers moments of clarity, points of brilliance that guide, reassure, and inspire. As you trace them one by one, you find yourself less lost in the darkness and more at home in it. The night no longer feels empty. It has structure, depth, and companions. And from here, your gaze will soon expand further, moving beyond the brilliance of the few to the subtle connections that weave the many. The brightest beacons are your beginning, gateways to the deeper mysteries still waiting to unfold.
Chapter 3: Patterns in the Sky, Constellations and Ancient Stories. As your gaze settles on the brightest stars, a curious transformation begins in the mind. The scattered points of light, once random and overwhelming, start to weave themselves into shapes. A line here, a triangle there, a curve that bends just enough to suggest the outline of something familiar. This is no accident of the sky. It is a function of the human mind itself. We are pattern-seeking creatures, constantly striving to bring order to chaos. And in the vastness of the night, where silence reigns and distance overwhelms, patterns become our way of taming infinity. Constellations are not written into the stars themselves. The stars do not conspire to form bears, hunters, or swans. These patterns are projections, creations of human imagination layered upon the heavens. Yet they are more than illusions. For millennia, they have been tools, guides for navigation, calendars for agriculture, and canvases upon which entire civilizations painted their myths and stories. To stare into the sky for an hour is to enter into this tradition, whether you realize it or not. Your brain cannot resist connecting the dots, and in doing so, you become part of a lineage that stretches back to the first storytellers who sat beneath the same stars. Take, for instance, Orion, one of the most recognizable constellations. To the ancient Greeks, its belt of 3 aligned stars and surrounding pattern marked the figure of a mighty hunter, bow in hand, forever chasing his quarry across the sky. In other cultures, however, Orion took on entirely different forms. For some, it represented not a hunter, but a great being of creation. In ancient Egypt, Orion was associated with Osiris, god of the afterlife, and its rising over the horizon was linked to cycles of death and rebirth. The same stars, the same arrangement, yet endless interpretations. Proof that constellations are as much about human imagination as about the heavens themselves. The Big Dipper, part of the larger constellation Ursa Major, offers another striking example. In North America, its 7 stars were seen as a bear pursued by hunters. In China, the same stars were known as the Northern Dipper, a cosmic ladle tied to divine order and the balance of seasons. Polynesian navigators looked to these stars as part of their intricate map of the skies, helping them traverse vast oceans without compasses. A single grouping of lights became an anchor for survival, woven with cultural meaning that shaped entire ways of life. What emerges from these stories is a realization. The sky is not a passive backdrop. It is a canvas upon which humans have painted meaning for tens of thousands of years. Cave paintings dating back 30,000 years may even suggest that early humans tracked constellations, embedding their myths and rituals into the patterns of the heavens. To gaze upward is to see not only stars, but the accumulated imagination of countless generations layered across time. The creation of constellations also reveals something profound about our own psychology. Faced with overwhelming randomness, the mind seeks order, even if it must invent it. This tendency, called pareidolia, is the same impulse that makes us see shapes in clouds or faces in rock formations. In the sky, it becomes a bridge between the incomprehensible vastness of the cosmos and the intimate stories of human life. A set of stars might become a hunter, a fish, a goddess, or a dragon, not because the stars demanded it, but because humans needed it. The constellations reflect us as much as they reflect the stars. Over time, these starry patterns became more than stories. They became tools. Farmers looked to the heavens to mark planting and harvest seasons. The heliacal rising of certain constellations, the moment they first appeared in the dawn sky after months of invisibility, served as cosmic calendars. Seafarers navigated by constellations, crossing oceans guided by shapes in the night. Entire civilizations depended upon these patterns for survival, weaving practicality and myth into a seamless whole. Even now, in an age of telescopes and satellites, the constellations endure. They may no longer serve as primary tools for survival, but they remain guides for the casual stargazer. A person stepping outside into the night can still lift his eyes and recognize Orion's belt, the arc of the Big Dipper, or the Southern Cross shining in the skies of the southern hemisphere. These patterns become the first steps in learning the sky, gateways into deeper discovery. And beyond their utility, they still carry a quiet poetry. To know that people across continents and centuries have looked at the same cluster of stars and told their own stories is to feel a connection that transcends time and geography. It is a reminder that the act of stargazing is both deeply personal and universally shared. The constellations bind us not only to the cosmos, but to one another, weaving a human story as vast as the sky itself. And as you continue your hour beneath the stars, these patterns become increasingly clear. Your eyes, once searching for brightness alone, now trace invisible lines across the heavens, building figures and forms. You join the endless chain of storytellers who looked upward and made sense of the infinite by shaping it into myth. The night sky is no longer random. It is a storybook, one in which every star is a word, and every constellation a sentence written across eternity. And in that storybook, you find yourself reflected. For when you see a hunter, or a swan, or a great bear in the stars, what you are truly seeing is your own mind reaching outward, finding familiarity in the unfamiliar, making the vastness of the cosmos something you can hold in your imagination. The constellations remind us that the universe may be infinite, but it is never beyond the reach of human wonder.
Chapter 4: Motion in Stillness. Satellites and Drifting Stars. At first, the night sky seems frozen in place, a canvas of brilliant points scattered across an unmoving void. The stars twinkle, yes, but they appear fixed, eternal, immune to the passage of time. Yet the longer you stare, the more you realize that this stillness is only an illusion. Subtle motions begin to reveal themselves, patient movements, too slow for a hurried glance to notice. The heavens, though seemingly calm, are never truly at rest. The first hints of motion come from the stars themselves. After 10 or 20 minutes, you begin to notice that the patterns you traced earlier have shifted ever so slightly. That bright star near the horizon has sunk lower, its glow dimming as it drifts toward the edge of sight. Another, higher in the sky, appears to have moved a fraction toward the west. This is not the stars moving on their own, but the earth beneath you turning on its axis. Every night, the sky performs a vast rotation, a silent ballet choreographed by the spinning of our planet. Polaris, the North Star, reveals this secret most clearly. Fixed near the celestial pole, it appears almost unmoving while the rest of the sky wheels around it. To early navigators, this was a beacon of orientation, proof of order in what might otherwise seem chaos. As you continue to stare, you notice that the constellations themselves behave like clock hands, marking the Earth's rotation against the eternal backdrop. An hour of patient observation reveals the truth. The still sky is in fact always in motion. But not all movements are so slow. Every so often, your eyes catch something gliding steadily across the heavens, a point of light that moves in a straight, unwavering line. Unlike meteors, which blaze briefly and vanish, these are calm, persistent travelers. Satellites, circling the Earth in their artificial orbits, add a modern layer to the night sky's age-old dance. Some shine brightly for a few minutes before fading into shadow as they pass into Earth's darkness. Others cross quickly, silent reminders of human presence reaching beyond the atmosphere. The International Space Station is perhaps the most striking of these wanderers. Appearing as a bright, fast-moving light, it crosses the sky in minutes, a glowing messenger of humanity's ambition. To think that in that small dot of light, people are living and working, breathing, sleeping, watching the same stars from above, is to feel the fragile yet profound bond between Earth and space. The sight of the ISS is a reminder that the sky is not only a realm of ancient myths, but also of human endeavor, an ongoing story written in orbit. There are also fainter, more mysterious paths,
tumbling satellites reflecting sunlight in flashes, streaks that appear and vanish like whispers of metal in motion. In recent years, constellations of satellites launched for global communication have created new patterns. Lines of moving lights that march together across the heavens. For some, these are marvels of progress. For others, they are disruptions to the natural purity of the night sky. Either way, they're undeniable signs that the motion of the heavens is no longer solely natural, but increasingly shaped by human hands. And then there are the meteors, fleeting reminders of the cosmos in motion. Though rare in any given hour, their sudden streaks leave a mark on the memory long after they fade. A meteor shower, such as the Perseids or the Geminids, can transform the night into a theater of fire. Dozens of trails cutting across the darkness every hour. Each is a speck of cosmic debris, burning in its final moment as it collides with Earth's atmosphere. For the briefest instant, the sky reveals its dynamism in a burst of light too swift to anticipate, yet too powerful to forget. Even without these spectacular displays, the quiet drift of the stars themselves is enough to remind you of the passage of time. After an hour of watching, you realize that the constellations have shifted noticeably. Orion no longer stands where it did. Its belt has tilted, its position altered by the planet's turning. The sky, which first appeared eternal, is now revealed as a grand clockwork, each star a hand marking the slow but relentless rotation of the Earth. This awareness changes your perception. You no longer see the night sky as static, but as alive, breathing with motion. The illusion of stillness gives way to a deeper truth. Everything is moving. The stars, the planets, the satellites, even you on the Earth's surface are participants in a dance too vast to fully comprehend. The cosmos is in constant motion, and by staring long enough, you learn to sense its rhythm. Cultural traditions have long recognized this truth. Ancient astronomers tracked the movements of the stars to measure time, to build calendars, and to predict the cycles of the seasons. The slow drift of constellations across the night sky told them when to plant, when to harvest, when to travel, and when to prepare for change. To see the stars move is to witness time itself unfolding in the heavens, a cosmic metronome guiding human life for thousands of years. As your hour beneath the sky continues, the interplay of motion and stillness becomes ever clearer. The satellites remind you of humanity's reach. The meteors remind you of the cosmos' unpredictability. The slow drift of the stars themselves reminds you of the planet's ceaseless turning. What at first seemed like a frozen tapestry has become a dynamic, living stage. The night sky is never truly still. It only waits for your patience to reveal its secrets. And in recognizing this, you come closer to understanding your place in the cosmos. You too are in motion, spinning with the Earth, orbiting the Sun, carried with the galaxy itself across interstellar space. The stillness you feel is but an illusion, a fragile perception masking a universe in eternal motion. To stare at the night sky for an hour is to peel back that illusion and glimpse the truth. Everything moves, and everything is part of that same vast, unending dance.
Chapter 5: Falling Lights, Meteors and Cosmic Visitors. As you continue gazing at the night sky, the stillness above seems timeless. Stars remain in their places, constellations preserve their shape, and satellites drift with predictable grace. And yet, suddenly, a fleeting spark breaks the quiet canvas of the heavens. A streak of light flashes across your field of vision, brief, delicate, and unforgettable. You have just witnessed what people for millennia have called a shooting star. But shooting stars are not stars at all. They are tiny visitors from space, fragments of rock or dust no larger than a grain of sand, entering Earth's atmosphere at tremendous speeds, tens of kilometers per second. As they collide with the air, the intense friction causes them to burn and glow brilliantly, producing the swift, luminous trails that capture our attention for only a heartbeat. The wonder lies in their impermanence. They arrive suddenly, and in an instant they vanish, leaving the sky seemingly untouched. Some meteors shine faintly, almost imperceptible unless your eyes are attuned to the subtleties of darkness. Others blaze brightly, cutting across the heavens with fiery elegance. On rare occasions, a larger fragment enters the atmosphere and creates what is known as a bolide, a meteor so bright it outshines all the stars for a brief moment, sometimes even breaking apart in a cascade of glowing fragments. Such spectacles remind us that Earth is not isolated, but constantly interacting with the remnants of cosmic history. The dust that fuels these lights has remarkable origins. Much of it comes from comets, icy bodies that wander through the solar system, shedding trails of particles as they are warmed by the sun. When Earth crosses one of these ancient trails, countless fragments collide with our atmosphere in swarms, creating what we know as meteor showers. Names such as the Perseids, Leonids, or Geminids mark the times of year when the heavens become alive with falling lights, offering nature's own celestial performance. For ancient civilizations, the sight of meteors carried deep symbolic meaning. Some saw them as omens, messages from the gods, or heralds of change. Others considered them gifts, sparks of light bridging heaven and earth. Today, while we understand the science behind them, the awe remains. Few natural experiences connect us so directly to the vastness of space as watching a meteor flare and vanish. In this moment, after an hour beneath the stars, you begin to realize that the sky is not only a backdrop of still points of light, it is alive, dynamic,
and filled with encounters both fleeting and eternal. Meteors remind us that the universe is not static. It is a place of constant motion, where even the smallest fragments leave their mark upon our imagination.
Chapter 6. The Expanding Sky. More stars revealed with time. When you first lift your gaze to the night sky, it seems simple. A handful of bright points scattered across a dark backdrop. But as the minutes pass, as your eyes and mind settle into the rhythm of stillness, something remarkable happens. The sky begins to open. What once appeared sparse grows dense. What seemed empty begins to fill. This is the gift of patience under starlight. Your vision is adapting. In the first moments, only the brightest stars could break through the lingering glow of artificial light and the sluggishness of your eyes adjusting to the dark. But after 10, 20, 30 minutes, your pupils have widened, your retina has shifted into its most sensitive mode of night vision, and the heavens respond by revealing more of themselves. A dozen stars become dozens more. The faintest sparkles begin to outline new shapes, extending constellations beyond their boldest members. A patch of sky that looked vacant now glitters with hidden diamonds. Layer by layer, the invisible becomes visible, as if the universe is unwrapping its secrets in response to your patience. This slow unveiling carries a psychological effect. At first, you may think you're watching the same sky you always knew, but then, with every passing minute, it grows deeper, richer, infinite. Your sense of scale expands with it. Each faint star suggests another behind it, and behind that, countless more beyond the reach of your vision. The longer you look, the more you feel that what you see is only the surface of an endless ocean. Astronomers often speak of the sky as stratified layers of visibility. The naked eye shows thousands of stars under dark conditions. A small telescope reveals tens of thousands. Larger instruments unveil millions. But what you are experiencing in this hour, simply by waiting and allowing your senses to adjust to the dark, is a microcosm of that same expansion. You are climbing through layers of perception, from the obvious to the subtle, from the finite to the unbounded. And in this expansion, something profound happens. You begin to feel small, yes, but also connected. Each new point of light feels like a new invitation, a reminder that the universe is larger than the limits of sight and larger than the limits of thought. The more you see, the more you realize there is to see, and the more you sense that what you will never see is far greater still. The sky, in its generosity, rewards your patience with this feeling of boundlessness, and the longer you remain, the more you understand. Infinity is not just a concept of mathematics or cosmology. It is something you can glimpse directly in the way the night sky deepens with every passing minute.
Chapter 7. The Invisible Universe. What you can't see. There is a paradox that emerges when you look at the night sky. On the one hand, it feels complete, a dome filled with stars, scattered with just enough light to inspire awe. On the other hand, if you know even a little about astronomy, you realize that what you are seeing is only a fraction of what truly exists. The human eye, marvelous as it is, was not built to capture the full range of the cosmos. Most of the universe remains hidden, tucked away in wavelengths we cannot perceive, or shrouded behind veils of distance and time. Imagine standing under a clear sky, looking toward the constellation Andromeda. To the unaided eye, it might look like nothing more than a faint smudge of light, but that smudge is an entire galaxy, the closest spiral neighbor to our Milky Way, containing over 1 trillion stars. Without telescopes, the immensity of it escapes you, and that is the secret of the invisible universe. So much lies beyond the threshold of our perception. Nebulae, for example, are among the most spectacular structures in space, vast clouds of gas and dust that stretch across light years. Yet most of them are completely invisible to the naked eye. They glow in colors and radiations that human vision simply cannot detect. Astronomers turn to infrared and ultraviolet instruments to reveal their beauty. What we see in pictures, those radiant swirls of pink, blue, and gold, are interpretations, translations of signals into visible light. To our eyes alone, the sky where those nebulae reside would appear empty, blank, silent. Then there are the objects that can never be seen directly, black holes. These gravitational monsters bend space itself, pulling in light so completely that not a single photon escapes. For centuries, they were only a hypothesis, a strange consequence of Einstein's equations. Now we know they are real and likely common. But no matter how advanced our eyes might become, we will never see a black hole itself. What we glimpse are its effects, the furious whirl of matter spiraling inward, heating up, glowing before it vanishes forever. Even stars themselves conceal their true nature from us. To the eye, they are tiny points of light, steady and cold. But through specialized instruments, their secrets unfold. Their surface temperatures, their chemical compositions, their life cycles. A seemingly unremarkable star might actually be a giant, a supergiant, or a system of 2 or 3 suns orbiting each other in a cosmic dance. The invisible universe also hides in sheer scale. Galaxies far beyond Andromeda's lie scattered in all directions. They are there, billions of them, but so faint and so distant that no eye can ever hope to catch them. The universe we can observe with instruments is tens of billions of light years across, yet our personal experience of the night sky fits neatly into the narrow field of human vision. This contrast creates a humbling effect. When you gaze at the stars, you are not just admiring what is in front of you, you are also brushing against the edge of your own limits. You are seeing, quite literally, the very small fraction of the cosmos that human biology allows. Everything else, most of it, is hidden, waiting, beyond sight. And yet the invisible universe is not empty. It is teeming with wonders, structures, and mysteries. Every telescope, every detector, every new set of eyes we build for the sky reveals more. The night above us is less a ceiling and more a door, one that opens wider with each discovery. To stand beneath it is to be reminded that our place is small, but our curiosity is vast enough to reach into the unseen. Chapter 8. Cosmic Perspective. Feeling small and infinite. To look up at the night sky is to be confronted with a paradox. On one hand, the universe is so vast that our existence can feel insignificant, as if humanity were nothing more than a fleeting spark in an endless ocean of time and space. On the other hand, the very act of being able to perceive, to reflect, and to wonder about this immensity gives our existence a profound meaning. The stars do not ask questions. The galaxies do not ponder their role in the cosmic dance. But we do. And in that act of awareness, something extraordinary emerges. When you stand beneath the stars, it is easy to sense the enormity of what lies beyond. The light that reaches your eyes has crossed distances so immense they are measured not in kilometers, but in light years. A single light year is almost 10 trillion kilometers, yet for many of the stars you see, their light has traveled tens, hundreds, or even thousands of those vast spans. This means that the sky you see tonight is not a portrait of the present, but a mosaic of the past, stitched together by photons that have traveled through the abyss for ages before gently arising here. The perspective this offers is both humbling and liberating. Imagine while civilizations rose and fell, while entire epochs of human history unfolded, the light of distant suns continued its journey, indifferent to the dramas of our tiny world. And yet, we are here, at this precise moment in time, catching that light, weaving it into meaning, stories, and science. The cosmos dwarfs us with its scale. Our planet is a speck of dust orbiting a modest star, which itself is just one among hundreds of billions within the Milky Way galaxy. Beyond, there are billions of galaxies, each holding their own suns, their own planets, perhaps their own versions of life. The sheer scale is staggering. It is easy to feel small, almost invisible against such magnitude. But perspective is everything. To feel small does not mean to feel unimportant. Consider this. You are composed of atoms forged in the hearts of stars. The carbon in your cells, the oxygen in your lungs, the iron in your blood, all were born in stellar furnaces billions of years ago. You are not separate from the cosmos. You are its continuation, its expression. The universe looks at itself through your eyes. This realization transforms insignificance into connection. Yes, our lives may be brief compared to the lifespan of galaxies. Yes, our worries may vanish when weighed against cosmic time. But that brevity gives life urgency, and that scale gives it context. The infinite does not diminish us, it elevates us. Because within that vastness, we are aware. We are capable of asking where we came from and where we are going. Standing under the stars, some people feel lost, while others feel found. Some sense the cold emptiness of space, while others sense the warmth of belonging to something greater than themselves. Both feelings are true. The universe is indifferent and infinite, but we give it meaning through our gaze, through our questions, through the stories we tell. The cosmic perspective invites humility, but also gratitude. Gratitude for the chance to exist, to think, to feel. Gratitude for the fleeting spark of consciousness that lets us wonder about things far beyond our reach. Gratitude for the stars themselves, whose light, though ancient, finds its way into our present moments, guiding our sense of place in the infinite. And so the paradox remains. We are small, yet infinite in possibility. We are fleeting, yet connected to eternity. When you gaze upward tonight, let that duality wash over you. Feel the immensity of the cosmos, and then remember, you are not apart from it. You are the cosmos in human form, experiencing itself for a brief but luminous moment.
Chapter 9. The Whisper of Light. Starlight traveling across time. As you continue your quiet vigil beneath the night sky, it becomes apparent that what you see is not only distant but ancient. Each star that sparkles above is a messenger from the past, its light traveling across incomprehensible distances to reach your eyes. What you are witnessing is history in motion, a whisper from the cosmos that has traversed years, decades, centuries, or even millennia before touching your gaze. Consider a star like Betelgeuse, part of the constellation Orion. Its brilliant red glow might have left its surface hundreds of years ago, long before some of us were born. By the time its photons finally reach Earth, civilizations have risen and fallen, landscapes have changed, and countless human stories have unfolded, all while that star's light continued its silent journey. To observe it is to peer backward through time, connecting your present moment with a distant past. What you are witnessing is history in motion, a whisper from the cosmos that has traversed years, decades, centuries, or even millennia before touching your gaze. Consider a star like Betelgeuse, part of the constellation Orion. Its brilliant red glow might have left its surface hundreds of years ago, long before some of us were born. By the time its photons finally reach Earth, civilizations have risen and fallen. Landscapes have changed and countless human stories have unfolded, all while that star's light continued its silent journey. To observe it is to peer backward through time, connecting your present moment with a distant past. Even more astonishing are stars and galaxies far beyond our own. Some lie millions, even billions of light years away. Their light began its journey when Earth was a very different place, when life itself was just emerging in its earliest forms, or when our planet had yet to exist. When you look at these faint glimmers, you are seeing a universe as it was long before your time, a living archive of cosmic history. Each photon is a traveler, an emissary of an epoch that can never be recreated except in your imagination. This temporal dimension of starlight reshapes our sense of reality. The night sky is not a static snapshot of the cosmos. It is a dynamic record, a gallery of moments stretched across incomprehensible distances. Stars explode in supernovae, fade or collapse into black holes,
yet we continue to see their light for years afterward. The past persists in the present, carried along invisible highways of space and time. Understanding this journey requires a sense of scale. Light travels at approximately 300,000 kilometers per second, yet even at that staggering speed, the distances involved are so vast that the universe itself stretches beyond our immediate perception. When you see a star, you are not observing its current state. You are witnessing what it once was, perhaps long gone or dramatically changed by the time its glow reaches you. In this sense, every star becomes a cosmic letter, written in light and delivered across the void. Even our familiar stars in our own Milky Way carry this message. A star visible tonight near our solar system may be a few dozen or a few hundred light years away. Its light has traveled decades, quietly bridging time to appear in our sky at just the right moment. Each blink, each shimmer is a whisper from the past, a reminder that while our lives are fleeting, the universe has been continuously narrating its story across eons. This perspective transforms the act of stargazing. It is no longer just an aesthetic experience, but a temporal one. Your eyes become receivers, attuned not only to spatial patterns, but to ancient signals. To watch the night sky for an hour is to participate in a dialogue with the cosmos itself, listening to the faint echoes of creation and endurance. The whisper of light invites reflection. If each star is a message from a distant time, then our awareness of it is a fleeting response. We exist for a brief moment in cosmic history, yet we can connect with events and entities far older and immense than ourselves. The sky teaches patience, humility, and wonder. It shows that time in the universe is layered and complex, that the present moment is part of an endless continuum. And so, as your hour beneath the stars continues, you may find a new sense of intimacy with the cosmos. The twinkling lights are no longer merely points in the sky. They are voices, messengers, and memories. Their journey across time brings the infinite closer, allowing you, for a brief instant, to witness the unfolding narrative of the universe. You are reading history, written in light, and delivered across the void. In this hour of quiet observation, the stars remind you that the universe is patient, eternal, and generous. It sends its messages without expectation, arriving precisely when you are ready to receive them. And in listening, in watching, in simply being present beneath the night sky, you touch a dimension of time far beyond human comprehension, where the past and the present merge in the soft, eternal glow of starlight.
Chapter 10. Celestial Rhythms, the Dance of the Sky. If there is one truth about the night sky, it is that nothing stands still. Even when it appears serene and unchanging, the cosmos is in constant motion, guided by cycles that have persisted for billions of years. Rotation, revolution, precession. These rhythms govern the behavior of stars, planets, and galaxies alike, creating a cosmic symphony that is invisible to the casual glance, yet profoundly felt to the attentive observer. The first rhythm you perceive is that of the Earth itself, As you watch the stars, you notice their slow drift from east to west. This apparent movement is caused by the rotation of our planet, completing a full turn every 24 hours. It is a silent, steady drumbeat that orchestrates day and night, framing the sky in a predictable arc. Even without instruments, one can sense this rhythm, a celestial metronome marking the passage of time. Beyond the daily rotation, there is the longer cycle of revolution. The Earth orbits the Sun once every year, causing sudden shifts in the position of stars and constellations with the seasons. A constellation that dominates the winter sky gradually disappears in spring, replaced by new patterns that reflect the changing vantage point of our journey around the Sun. The sky itself becomes a calendar, a moving tapestry that charts both time and space. And then there is precession, a slower, more subtle dance that occurs over tens of thousands of years. The Earth's axis wobbles like a spinning top, gradually altering the orientation of the celestial poles and the positions of stars relative to the horizon. This motion is imperceptible in a single night, yet over generations, it reshapes the sky, suddenly shifting the backdrop against which human history unfolds. It is a reminder that the cosmos has its own long-term rhythms, extending far beyond the span of the human life. Observing these cycles instills a sense of cosmic harmony. The repetition of motions, whether rapid or glacial, is reassuring, a reminder that the universe is governed by order, even in its vastness. The stars trace their arcs, planets march along their orbits, and moons circle their worlds in silent choreography. Everything is in motion, yet everything follows a pattern, a rhythm that resonates with the mind attuned to stillness. The experience of these rhythms is both scientific and spiritual. From a practical standpoint, ancient civilizations relied on them to measure time, navigate oceans, and plan agricultural cycles. The rising and setting of stars marked the passage of months. The motion of planets inspired calendars. The patterns of the moon guided planting and harvest. For millennia, humans have internalized these cycles, learning to synchronize life with the dance of the heavens. Yet, the perception of rhythm goes beyond utility. To sit beneath a sky for an hour is to feel your own heartbeat in resonance with the cosmos. There was a subtle alignment, a connection to the silent music of celestial mechanics. Each rotation, each orbit, each precessional wobble becomes a part of a larger pattern that includes you, not in size, but in awareness. You become a participant in the eternal dance. Your gaze a witness to motions that span time and space. Planets offer their own contributions to this rhythm. Slow moving against the backdrop of stars, they trace arcs night by night, reminding the observer of cycles within cycles. Jupiter and Saturn drift imperceptibly. Mercury and Venus dance near the horizon, and Earth itself spins and orbits, creating a nested set of movements. The sky is alive with layered motion, each cycle interacting with others, a complex symphony that has no conductor, but obeys the laws of physics with precise elegance. Recognizing these rhythms changes the act of stargazing. No longer is the sky merely a collection of points of light. It becomes a living system, a temporal and spatial orchestra
in which patterns and movements reveal the underlying structure of reality. The human mind, when allowed to observe without distraction, begins to feel these rhythms intuitively. The universe is not static. It is dance, flowing endlessly. And the longer you watch, the more attuned you become. By the end of an hour beneath the stars, you have sensed more than shapes and light. You have sensed time itself in motion. You have perceived the gentle heartbeat of the rotating planet, the sweeping arc of constellations shifting with the seasons, and the faint, imperceptible wobble of a world spinning on its axis for millennia. These rhythms, both grand and subtle, remind you that the universe is alive with motion and order, a ceaseless dance in which you are both observer and participant. The night sky, once seemingly fixed and eternal, now reveals its pulse. It is rhythm, it is motion, it is dance. And in this dance, you find a quiet resonance, a sense that time, space, and consciousness are intertwined in ways both beautiful and humbling. The celestial rhythms are subtle, often invisible, yet their impact is profound. To feel them is to feel the universe itself.
Chapter 11. Echoes of Myth, Human Stories Written in the Stars. As your gaze lingers on the night sky, you begin to notice patterns that are more than mere arrangements of stars. These constellations, familiar and timeless, are not just cosmic coincidences. They are stories, projections of human imagination onto the vast canvas of the universe. Across cultures and centuries, people have looked up and seen themselves reflected in the stars, leaving a legacy of myth, legend, and meaning written across the heavens. Consider Orion, the mighty hunter. Its belt and shoulders form a striking figure in the sky, and countless cultures have interpreted it as a symbol of strength, pursuit, and courage. The Greeks told tales of Orion's adventures and misfortunes, while other civilizations wove their own narratives around the same pattern of stars, each story revealing the values and fears of its people. In this way, the sky became a mirror, reflecting human psychology, society, and aspiration. Constellations are also timekeepers, guiding civilizations through the rhythms of life. Farmers observed the rising and setting of key stars to determine planting and harvesting seasons. Navigators relied on the positions of these celestial markers to cross oceans and deserts. In every case, the stars were more than points of light. They were stories that conveyed practical wisdom, encoded in myth, and memorized for generations. The sky was simultaneously a map, a calendar, and a library of human experience. Beyond practical concerns, the myths themselves speak to our deepest emotions. Cassiopeia, queen of the sky, tells of vanity and hubris. Andromeda, chained to the rock, speaks of courage and sacrifice. The Pleiades, a cluster of 7 sisters, inspires themes of unity, loss, and longing. In every tale, humans projected their own existence onto the stars,
seeking to understand themselves through the cosmos. Each legend is a bridge between our temporal lives and the timeless night above. This tradition is not confined to the classical Western constellations. Indigenous peoples around the world created intricate stories tied to the stars, often weaving them into origin myths, moral lessons, and survival strategies. The sky becomes a tapestry where culture, morality, and knowledge intersect. Observing the stars is, in essence, a form of reading human history written in light across millennia. Even today, when we know more about astronomy than any ancient civilization could imagine, the impulse remains. We name celestial bodies, assign significance to their movements, and marvel at their forms, all the while projecting narratives onto them. This act connects us to our ancestors, reminding us that wonder and imagination are intrinsic parts of the human experience. The stars are silent, yet they invite dialogue, a conversation that transcends time and culture. As you stare for an hour, you may find yourself tracing constellations, recalling myths, or even inventing your own stories. Each flicker of light becomes a character, each cluster a chapter, each arc a plot. The night sky, vast and eternal, is a library where every observer can leave a trace, where every gaze is a continuation of a conversation begun long before humans could write. And in this, you sense the universality of human creativity. Across continents and eras, people looked up and did the same thing you're doing now. They connected the dots, mapped the heavens, and found meaning. The stars are in this sense both a canvas and a mirror, showing us not only the universe, but ourselves reflected across light years and centuries. The sky becomes a living anthology, a record of human thought, culture, and imagination. It reminds us that while we are small in scale, our capacity for creativity, reflection, and storytelling is vast. Every glance at the night sky carries echoes of myth, whispers of past civilizations, and the enduring human impulse to seek meaning in the infinite. Chapter 12. A Window to Infinity. Galaxies Beyond Sight. As your gaze stretches across the night sky, there comes a moment when you begin to sense the vastness beyond the stars you can see. At first, the Milky Way appears as a faint, milky ribbon stretching across the darkness, a subtle glow hinting at the immense structure it represents. This is our home galaxy, a sprawling collection of hundreds of billions of stars, each with its own story, each a sun potentially hosting its own worlds. Even within this familiar sweep, the scale is staggering. The points of light that seem close are in fact separated by incomprehensible distances, and the entirety of the Milky Way itself is but one galaxy among countless others. To imagine the universe in its fullness is to step into infinity. Each star you see may be accompanied by planets, moons, and perhaps life beyond our comprehension. And beyond our own galaxy, every faint speck of light, every smudge of glow in the distance could be another galaxy, each containing billions or trillions of stars. The observable universe is a tapestry of galaxies, each one a cosmos unto itself, stretching across billions of light years in every direction. The sheer number is almost impossible to grasp, an endless multiplicity that dwarfs human scales of space and time. This perspective transforms the night sky from a simple ceiling of twinkling lights into a window of infinite possibility. When you look at the Milky Way, you are not only seeing your galactic home, you are peering into a larger structure, a universe of universes. Each point of light hints at the complexity beyond your sight, and each galaxy reminds you that what is visible is only a fraction of what exists. The universe extends far beyond the limits of perception, and our senses are capable of catching only a whisper of its vastness. Galaxies are not only distant, they are dynamic. They rotate, collide, and evolve over billions of years, their forms shifting slowly, imperceptibly to the naked eye. The Milky Way itself has had a tumultuous history, merging with smaller galaxies, forming new stars, and continuing its journey through space. And yet, from our vantage point, it appears as a static, luminous band, a gentle reminder of the grandeur that lies beyond the immediate and the visible. This realization inspires a profound sense of humility and awe. The universe is not only vast, it is layered with mysteries beyond our reach. Every speck of light could be a reminder of the infinite, each galaxy a monument to cosmic complexity. The night sky becomes a meditation on scale, on continuity, and on the delicate thread that connects us to everything around us. Even the smallest glimpse of starlight carries echoes of vast structures, hinting at countless stories unfolding in parallel, far beyond the scope of human vision. Looking through this window to infinity, you may feel both diminished and elevated. Diminished because the universe is so enormous, so ancient, that our lives are fleeting in comparison. Elevated because through awareness and imagination we can extend our understanding, bridging the gap between the finite human experience and a vast, unknowable cosmos. In contemplating galaxies beyond sight, we participate in a cosmic dialogue, a silent conversation with realities so distant they defy immediate perception, yet which are intimately connected to our own existence through light, gravity, and the fabric of space-time. In this quiet hour beneath the stars, the sky teaches a subtle lesson. Every point of light you see is a window to infinity. Each star, each faint glow, each distant smudge is part of a vast cosmic network, a reminder that the universe is layered, expansive, and endlessly generous in its complexity. By simply observing, you open yourself to the infinite, letting the Milky Way and the galaxies beyond it expand your sense of scale, perspective, and wonder. The window to infinity is always there, waiting for the patient gaze, offering a reminder that what is visible is only a small portion of what exists. And in contemplating it, you begin to sense the immensity, the interconnectedness, and the profound beauty of a universe that stretches beyond comprehension, yet invites your awareness in every faint glimmer. Chapter 13. The Music of Silence, the Emotional Effect of Stillness. There is a unique quality to the night sky that goes beyond what the eyes can see. It is not only the stars, the galaxies, or the constellations that captivate. It is the profound silence that surrounds them. To sit beneath the night sky for an hour is to enter a world devoid of sound, a vast space where stillness reigns, and in that stillness something remarkable occurs. The mind begins to open, the heart slows, and a sense of inner expansion takes hold. Silence under the stars is unlike any ordinary quiet. It is not merely the absence of noise, it is a presence in itself. The vast emptiness of space seems to reach across the void into your awareness, inviting reflection and contemplation. In this silence, the usual distractions of daily life fade, leaving only the essentials: your breath, your heartbeat, your thoughts, and the faint twinkle of distant suns. It is a form of music without sound, a rhythm woven from light, space, and time. As minutes pass, your perception shifts. The mind, often busy and cluttered, begins to mirror the calm of the cosmos. Thoughts settle, emotions find balance, and a sense of inner expansion takes hold. Each star becomes a point of focus, a gentle anchor in the vastness, while the quiet allows you to become attuned to subtler rhythms within yourself. The experience is both calming and expansive, a merging of internal and external stillness that transforms the ordinary act of observation into a meditative journey. This effect is not merely poetic, it is physiological. Studies of mindfulness and meditative practices suggest that prolonged stillness can lower heart rate, reduce stress, and enhance mental clarity. Under the night sky, these benefits are amplified by the sheer scale and mystery of the universe. The stars, distant yet constant, remind you of continuity, resilience, and perspective. They encourage a sense of surrender, not in defeat, but in harmony with something larger than oneself. Silence also deepens emotional perception. In the absence of external noise, emotions become more vivid, more connected to the moment. Awe emerges naturally, a mixture of reverence and wonder that touches both the intellect and the soul. In this quiet, it is easier to feel gratitude for existence, for the gift of perception, and for the chance to witness the cosmos in its vast and intricate beauty. The night sky, silent and patient, becomes a teacher, guiding you toward awareness, introspection, and a quiet joy that transcends words. Spiritually, the experience of silence under the stars evokes a sense of connection. The boundaries between self and universe blur. You are simultaneously infinitesimal and integral. The light from distant stars traveling across millennia to reach your eyes becomes a bridge connecting your present awareness to the vastness of time and space. In this stillness, the universe is not merely observed, it is felt, as though each photon carries not only information, but also a subtle resonance of cosmic presence. By the end of the hour, the music of silence lingers. It is an inner melody, a reflection of the rhythm, scale, and grace of the cosmos. Your mind, calmed and expanded, experiences a rare alignment with the universe itself. The simple act of watching, listening with the mind, and allowing yourself to be present has transformed your perception. What began as an external observation becomes an internal journey, one where the night sky and your consciousness move together in quiet harmony. The stars continue to shine, indifferent yet constant, but you are changed. You carry with you the memory of stillness, the emotional depth it evokes, and the subtle expansion of mind and spirit it inspires. The music of silence is not a sound. It is an experience, a state of being, a gentle reminder that in quiet observation we can touch the infinite.
Chapter 14. Time's Illusion. An hour in the cosmic scale. As you sit beneath the night sky, 1 hour may feel like an eternity, or perhaps like a fleeting moment. Yet, when measured against the cosmos, that single hour is almost nothing, a tiny heartbeat in a universe billions of years old. Time in human perception is linear, immediate, and personal. It is structured around seconds, minutes, and hours, but the cosmos operates on a scale so vast that human time becomes a fleeting illusion, almost irrelevant when compared to the eons that govern stars, galaxies, and the fabric of space itself. Every star above has its own temporal story. Some are millions or even billions of years old. Light leaves their surfaces long before your birth, traveling across the void at incredible speed, only to meet your eyes now, in this singular hour. The birth, evolution, and eventual death of stars unfold on timescales far beyond human experience. Yet your awareness, concentrated for just 1 hour, allows you to glimpse these processes. In this way, your perception becomes a bridge between the ephemeral human moment and the enduring rhythm of the universe. Consider the life of a star. From its formation in a stellar nursery, to its quiet main sequence years, to its final transformation into a red giant or a supernova, the entire cycle can span millions or billions of years. 1 hour beneath the sky in this perspective is a breath, a single note in an endless symphony. And yet that brief human experience carries profound significance. You are conscious, aware, and present, observing cosmic processes that have unfolded long before and will continue long after. Time is relative, not only in the physical sense, as Einstein revealed, but in the experiential sense as well. Time is also elastic in perception. When gazing at the stars, minutes can feel stretched, and consciousness can enter a state of deep reflection where hours may feel like days. The mind, attuned to the slow, majestic pace of the universe, begins to experience temporal flow differently. Each flicker of starlight, each movement of a distant planet subtly alters your awareness of duration. You begin to understand that time is not absolute. It is deeply intertwined with observation, perception, and context. This illusion of time carries both humility and insight. Humanity often measures existence by hours, lifetimes, and historical events. Yet in the cosmic scale, these measures are almost inconceivably brief. Yet paradoxically, the brevity of human life intensifies the beauty of the experience. The knowledge that the stars have endured for eons and that your 1 hour is a fleeting window into that immensity deepens your sense of awe. Time becomes a lens through which the vastness of the universe is filtered into personal understanding. Even more profoundly, the night sky teaches that time is not only external, but internal. 1 hour of quiet observation can feel transformative, allowing awareness to expand beyond immediate concerns and daily routines. In this way, time under the stars is not merely counted, it is experienced, absorbed, and reflected upon. The contrast between human and cosmic scales evokes a sense of continuity, connecting you to processes that stretch across the age of the universe. By the end of your hour beneath the heavens, the illusion becomes clear. Time is a construct shaped by perspective. What seems brief to the cosmos can feel eternal to the human mind. And what seems eternal in our daily lives is almost non-existent on cosmic scales. Through this paradox, you gain a subtle understanding. Your awareness, though fleeting, participates in the enduring story of the universe. Every moment, no matter how small, is a point of connection to the vast, intricate dance of stars, galaxies, and light across time. Time in the night sky is both relative and profound. 1 hour may pass unnoticed in human terms, yet in that same hour, the universe continues its slow, inexorable motion. And in that recognition, you feel both your fleetingness and your profound significance. A conscious observer in a universe that measures existence in billions of years, yet allows your gaze for a single hour to witness its eternal grandeur.
Chapter 15. The Hidden Colors of the Sky. To the naked eye, the night sky appears as a tapestry of blackness, punctuated by points of white or colored light. Yet this perception captures only a fragment of reality. Stars, galaxies, and cosmic phenomena emit energy across a spectrum far beyond human vision. What we see is a mere sliver of light, the visible wavelengths, while vast ranges of infrared, ultraviolet, radio waves, and X-rays pass unnoticed, revealing layers of the universe that remain hidden to our senses.
Each star you observe is far more than a bright dot. Its light carries information about temperature, composition, motion, and age. Hotter stars glow blue or white. Cooler stars emit red or orange. Yet beyond this visible signal, they radiate across the electromagnetic spectrum. Infrared light reveals heat from dust clouds and stellar nurseries. Ultraviolet traces high-energy processes and young massive stars. And X-rays expose violent phenomena such as black holes or supernova remnants. The universe is alive with signals, most of which are invisible to the eye, waiting for instruments to translate their messages. The concept of hidden colors transforms the way we understand the night sky. What seems simple and static is actually a complex interplay of waves and energy, layers upon layers of activity occurring beyond perception. Every photon that reaches Earth is a messenger from a broader spectrum, a clue about processes unfolding in distant regions of space. By observing only visible light, we perceive the universe incompletely, but even that glimpse inspires awe. By extending our vision with technology, we begin to access the hidden depths of reality. Consider the Milky Way, which stretches across the sky as a faint band. In visible light, it appears as a soft, glowing trail, but infrared telescopes reveal a rich structure of interstellar dust, gas clouds, and star-forming regions. Ultraviolet observations highlight young, hot stars scattered throughout its spiral arms, and radio waves map cosmic magnetic fields and distant pulsars. The universe is alive with signals, most of which are invisible to the eye, waiting for instruments to translate their messages. This hidden spectrum carries profound implications. It reminds us that perception is limited, that reality extends beyond immediate senses, and that much of the universe remains mysterious. The stars we see are merely ambassadors, hinting at the full complexity of their existence. They invite curiosity, urging us to develop tools and imagination capable of unveiling the hidden colors and energies that surround us. Even without telescopes, awareness of this hidden dimension deepens the experience of stargazing. Knowing that stars shine not only in visible light, but also in invisible wavelengths, fosters humility and wonder. It expands our sense of scale, reminding us that the universe is richer, more layered, and more mysterious than it seems. The night sky becomes a portal, hinting at realms that transcend ordinary perception, waiting for the patient observer to seek understanding and insight. In essence, the hidden colors of the sky teach a fundamental lesson. Reality is broader than perception, and what we see is only a fraction of what exists. The cosmos is alive with signals, waves, and energy patterns that carry the stories of stars, galaxies, and cosmic events. By contemplating this hidden spectrum, you expand not only your knowledge, but your awareness, sensing the depth, richness, and infinite possibilities of the universe beyond the visible. As your hour beneath the stars continues, the invisible becomes an invitation, a subtle reminder that there is always more to discover, more to perceive, and more to understand. Even the familiar constellations, each star, each flicker of light, are doors to deeper truths, revealing a universe far more intricate and vibrant than the eye alone can perceive. The hidden colors are a silent symphony, playing beyond sight, waiting to be felt, imagined, and explored. Chapter 16. Our Cosmic Neighbors, the Planets. Beneath the night sky, among the countless stars, there are points of light that move differently, steady, unwavering, or wandering slowly across the heavens. These are the planets, our cosmic neighbors, each following its orbit around the sun, visible to the naked eye, yet often overlooked. Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn appear as tiny but distinct beacons, each with its own story and character, each a reminder that the universe is not only vast, but intimate, populated by worlds within reach of imagination. Venus shines brilliantly, a jewel of evening or morning, reminding us of a planet wrapped in clouds and heat. Mars glows with a reddish hue, stirring images of deserts, canyons, and the possibility of ancient water. Jupiter dominates with its steady light, accompanied by faint hints of its moons, each a small world with its own mysteries. Saturn, adorned in a ring of icy particles, evokes awe even through the simplest telescopic glance. To watch them is to engage in a quiet dialogue with worlds beyond our own, a conversation mediated by light and distance, imagination and awareness. As you observe, it is possible to take an imaginative journey toward them. Picture yourself floating above Venus, peering through thick clouds, sensing the immense pressures and heat. Drift toward Mars, tracing the outlines of valleys and craters that hint at a long history of geological transformation. Glance at Jupiter and imagine the storms that rage across its gaseous surface, the great red spot churning for centuries. Orbit Saturn and marvel at the elegance of its rings, a delicate dance of countless icy fragments in perfect harmony. The planets serve as tangible reminders of our place within the solar system. They are neighbors, not stars, and they respond to gravity, light, and motion in ways that can be traced, predicted, and understood. Observing them fosters both scientific curiosity and a sense of connection. They are a bridge between the earthbound human experience and the broader celestial order, accessible yet mysterious, nearby yet profoundly alien. In watching these celestial neighbors, one becomes attuned to subtle motions. Venus may shift slightly night to night. Mars drifts across constellations, and Jupiter's light, though steady, hints at immense scale. Each observation is a meditation on perspective, a reminder that motion and change are constants in the cosmos. The planets in their gentle, observable orbits teach patience, focus, and wonder, the same qualities that emerge from a quiet hour spent beneath the stars. By the end of the hour, the planets leave an imprint on your imagination. They are more than points of light. They are worlds, companions in the cosmic journey, a silent testimony to the vastness and intimacy of space. Observing them, even briefly, is an invitation to explore, to dream, and to understand that the universe is not an abstract void, but a neighborhood filled with mysteries waiting to be contemplated.
Chapter 17. The Milky Way, Our Galactic Home. Stretching across the night sky, the Milky Way appears as a soft, luminous band, a milky trail of countless stars spilling across the darkness. At first glance, it seems delicate, almost ethereal. Yet this ribbon of light is the backbone of our galaxy, a vast collection of hundreds of billions of stars, gas and dust, rotating gracefully in cosmic harmony. Observing it is to witness the structure of our home on a scale both intimate and overwhelming, a reminder of the grand architecture of the universe. Within this band, stars cluster in dense regions and scatter in vast voids, forming patterns that tell a story of formation, collision, and evolution. Nebulas glow faintly along its span, cradles of newborn stars where the cycle of life continues in silent brilliance. Dust clouds obscure sections, creating dark lanes that weave intricate patterns, adding depth and contrast. Even without telescopes, the Milky Way offers a dynamic, living panorama, an ongoing cosmic symphony visible to any patient observer under a clear sky. Understanding our place within this galaxy transforms perception. We inhabit the Orion Arm, a minor spiral within a grander spiral galaxy, far from its center, yet deeply connected to the larger whole. Each star in the Milky Way could host planets, moons, and perhaps life, worlds beyond imagination, each part of a vast, interconnected system. The Milky Way is both familiar and mysterious, a home and a reminder of the immensity that surrounds us. Observing the Milky Way evokes reflection on scale and perspective. Its soft glow bridges the gap between the nearby stars we know and the distant reaches of the universe we can barely comprehend. The spine of our galaxy is a visual testament to cosmic structure, and yet it also evokes a sense of intimacy. The very stars we see, separated by light years, are part of a cohesive, rotating whole, a dance of gravity, time, and motion that has persisted for billions of years. In this hour beneath the sky, the Milky Way becomes a guide. Its presence reminds us of continuity and endurance, of cycles and evolution beyond human measurement. By tracing its span with your eyes, you follow the architecture of your cosmic home, sensing the vastness of space while simultaneously connecting to its structure. Each point of light is both distant and near, a witness to your gaze and a participant in a story billions of years in the making. The Milky Way evokes awe, reflection, and humility. It is the galaxy we call home, yet its grandeur dwarfs human experience. Observing it encourages contemplation of our place in the universe, our smallness in scale, and the profound beauty of the cosmic order that sustains countless worlds, countless stories, and countless moments of observation like this one. Beneath this band of light, you feel both rooted and expanded. The Milky Way, stretching across the heavens, is a home, a spine, and a bridge, a reminder that while we inhabit a single planet, we are part of a galaxy, a universe, and a continuum that transcends time and perception.
Chapter 18: Shadows of Darkness, Black Holes and Cosmic Voids. Beneath the glittering expanse of stars lies an equally profound reality, the darkness between them. This is not mere emptiness, but a complex and mysterious domain filled with black holes, cosmic voids, and the subtle influence of gravity that cannot be seen, only inferred. While stars illuminate the night sky, these shadows are reminders of the unseen forces that shape the universe, the invisible structures that govern motion, form, and fate on the grandest scales. Black holes, perhaps the most enigmatic of these shadows, embody the extremes of nature. Born from collapsed stars, they concentrate mass in a singularity of infinite density, their gravitational pull so strong that not even light can escape. To observe their presence is not to see them directly, but to perceive the effect they have on surrounding matter, stars orbiting a hidden center, gas spiraling inward, light bending as it passes nearby. Black holes challenge perception, hinting at realms where our understanding of space and time stretches to its limits. Beyond these singularities lie the cosmic voids, immense regions of near-empty space separating the filaments of galaxies. These voids are vast, silent expanses where few stars exist, yet they are crucial to the structure of the universe. Their emptiness shapes the distribution of matter, influencing the dance of galaxies and the evolution of cosmic structures. In these shadows, the universe reminds us that absence is as powerful as presence, that the unseen can dictate the visible. Contemplating these dark regions fosters a unique perspective. While human eyes are drawn to light, the absence of light conveys profound lessons. It teaches that the universe is not merely a collection of stars, planets, and galaxies, but a dynamic interplay of forces, both visible and invisible. Gravity, dark matter, and the geometry of space all operate largely unseen, yet they govern the evolution of the cosmos. The night sky, then, is not just a display of illumination, but a stage where both light and shadow perform in tandem. In these shadows, you sense a universe that is both intelligible and mysterious. Black holes and cosmic voids whisper of forces beyond perception, of structures that guide and constrain, yet remain hidden. And in this interplay of light and dark, visibility and invisibility, the universe offers a quiet lesson. To see is to understand, but to imagine the unseen is to glimpse the infinite.
Chapter 19. The Hour Completed. Transformation Through the Gaze. As the hour beneath the night sky comes to an end, a subtle transformation occurs. What began as a simple act of observation evolves into a profound experience that bridges the tangible and the intangible, the scientific and the spiritual. Your perception has shifted, not only of the stars above, but of yourself within the universe, attuned to rhythms, distances, and wonders that transcend ordinary human awareness. Throughout this hour, your senses have been stretched and your mind expanded. You have traced constellations, followed wandering planets, marveled at the glow of the Milky Way, and contemplated shadows of darkness, black holes, and cosmic voids. Each observation, each moment of stillness has layered insight upon insight, revealing both the structure of the cosmos and the delicate threads connecting you to it. Time has felt elastic, moments have deepened, and the invisible has revealed itself through imagination and contemplation. In this transformation, science and spirituality converge. On one hand, your knowledge of stellar distances, planetary orbits, and galactic architecture grounds your experience in observable reality. On the other, the vastness of space, the hidden colors of light, and the infinite depth of the universe invite reflection, awe, and a sense of connection to something far greater than oneself. The hours spent under the stars becomes a meditation, an intersection of logic, observation, and wonder. Emotionally, a quiet expansion occurs. You feel simultaneously small and vast, aware of your fleeting life, yet connected to processes that span billions of years. The stars and galaxies witnessed in this hour are reminders that the universe is eternal and dynamic. But you, as a conscious observer, are a part of its unfolding story. This duality, ephemeral human life and enduring cosmic order, imbues the experience with meaning, perspective, and serenity. Even the rhythm of the cosmos has left its mark. Rotation, orbit, and precession, once abstract concepts, are now felt through observation. The night sky becomes a living clock, a cosmic symphony, a teacher that reveals not just the mechanics of space, but the harmony underlying existence. In observing, you have learned patience. In waiting, you have discovered depth. And in seeing, you have perceived both knowledge and mystery. As the hour concludes, the act of looking transforms into lasting awareness. The mind carries echoes of distant starlight, whispers of hidden energies, and impressions of infinite structures. You may return to the world below, yet the sky remains within you, expanded, attentive,
and enriched. The universe, with all its grandeur and subtlety, becomes part of your consciousness, a lens through which life and existence are viewed anew. The gaze has completed its journey, yet its effects linger. Science provides understanding, and spirituality provides context, but together they create a holistic perception, a recognition of beauty, scale, and interconnectedness. 1 hour of attentive observation has bridged the personal and the cosmic, leaving you transformed, a witness to infinity, a participant in the silent dialogue of the universe. And so, as you rise from your quiet vigil, the night sky continues its eternal dance above, indifferent yet intimate. You have spent an hour in its presence, and though time resumes its ordinary pace, the transformation persists. A single hour under the stars has forever altered the way you perceive light, space, and your own place in the vast, mysterious, and awe-inspiring cosmos.